I was thinking about the exchange in Mark 10 that Jesus has with this man who comes asking what he has to do to enter the kingdom. Jesus tells him what to do, and the man says he did that already and asks what else he must do. So, Jesus tells him to sell everything he has and give it to the poor, take up his cross, and basically follow him. And it says that the man was very sorrowful because he was very rich. So here's this man who wants to follow God, who wants to do what God is leading him to do, but he can't because it would mean giving away or separating himself from the things that define him. What's really interesting is that later in that passage, Jesus tells his disciples that it's very hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. I looked again at that language, and it was really interesting because he said it's hard for a rich man to enter, not that it's hard for a man who has riches to enter the kingdom of God. See, for this man who had this exchange with Jesus, it was his riches that defined him. This is where his confidence came from, his sense of place, his sense of relevance, of security and safety. He's wrapped up in all that being rich gives him, emotionally, socially, in terms of access, etc. To this man, his riches are the source and reason for all the good he experiences in his life. Without them, there is no him. And since his riches are crucial to his identity, he has to do whatever's necessary to keep them, even walk away from Jesus. And we can fall into this with our career or the gift itself. I was watching a documentary on Whitney Houston, and one of the people being interviewed said, Whitney is her voice. And that really struck me hard, particularly considering all the damage that thinking did in her life. Now, Houston did drugs for many reasons, I'm sure. Among those, though, she did them to keep her going when she was exhausted, when she should have said no, walked away, and taken a break. But how can you say no when you are your voice? How many artists have we seen struggle, fall into depression, unable to appreciate being still for a season because they battle the thought, who am I if I'm not doing this? Or what about those who fear losing all the benefits of success when they're not at the top anymore? What is their value as a person without them? And because their identity is built on the status of their gift and career, they feel they have to do whatever it takes to maintain them, even things they never imagined they'd do. So why do you want what you want? If your career is what defines you, if your career being at a certain status or you being active in your art form is what defines you, you put yourself in a vulnerable position for compromise as you then become very willing to do whatever it takes to maintain those things upon which your identity is formed.